Hey guys, it's Alex. Thanks for tuning in. Today I will be making a Spanish kind of chicken noodle soup, sopa de fideos con pollo. You can use different meat alterations if you want to, such as like sausage. I choose chicken, I like chicken. You can use drumsticks or you can use chicken breasts. From what I know, like if you do use like the drumsticks, you are gonna get that juice from like the bone, so the bone broth. So it does make the juice taste a little bit better in the soup. But you can use whatever you want to, honestly. Today I'm gonna try to zoom through this as quick as possible. I just literally got off of work and I'm trying to get other stuff done, but my life revolves around work, so So, pretty much for this recipe, you don't need much. That's why it makes it very easy to make. I used like a carrot that was about this long or so, skinny carrot. You could buy at the store like one of those small packages, or you could use the little baby carrots if you want. A half a package of those would be fine. But I used just one long carrot and then chopped it up in little pieces. This size piece, if you can see. So I used one carrot, chopped it up. Potatoes, you can use whatever kind of potatoes you want to. I chose to use the red potatoes just because I like them better, and chopped them up in small little pieces like so. I used 3 medium-sized potatoes, red potatoes. You will need, I would say, about a half of one of these tomato sauces. You can use whatever kind of brand tomato sauce you want to, but I'm using the Goya tomato sauce. Some people put tomato paste as well. You could use like a like a tablespoon of tomato paste if you want to thicken it up. There's other ways of thickening up soup and other different kinds of like roasts and stuff like that. If you use like dried potato that comes like in a box or whatever, that's a little trick. So that's what I prefer to do to thicken up the sauce. So just half of this. For seasoning the meat specifically, before you even start putting anything in the pot, when you season the meat, you'll need adobo. I recommend, because I don't have like a specific measurement on it, whenever you're seasoning the meat, just literally shake about as much that it'll cover both sides of the meat. So if you think about it, if you're not flipping it around and none of that, just because I'm really like pessimistic about touching like chicken and stuff like that when it's raw, like it grosses me out. So I'd like to just like sprinkle it once across on top and then sprinkle it once again across the top to layer it 2 times, just so that I know it's gonna end up coating both sides when I eventually do get to mixing all the ingredients on the chicken. You could do 1 packet or half a packet of sazon. Same thing with the salt. You're just going to sprinkle like a small little layer on top, twice going over. Same thing you would do with adobo. Meat tenderizer. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. I use it. I don't know why. I love salty stuff, so maybe it's because it gives it more of a salty flavor and it cooks it more thoroughly faster, the meat. Same idea, just do a little sprinkle of this. I don't go twice over the meat with this just because I already did it with the regular salt. I throw a little bit of pepper just because I love pepper in general. A little sprinkle on top, 2 times over. When I'm saying 2 times over and sprinkle on top, I know some of y'all probably like, what the fuck is she talking about? I don't tend to measure things while I'm cooking, like with like tablespoons and cups and stuff like that. I just go for the feel of it. So from just cooking in the past and just over time, I guess developed a technique where I know the amount of salt that I'm putting on it. I'm not going like dumping the whole thing upside down and like pouring over 2 times over. I know I'm just like lightly shaking over top. Also you'll need like about this size spoon, one of those big stirring spoons of sofrito for more flavor. So that's pretty much it. Besides the noodles, you'll add those last just because they are going to cook the fastest out of all of this. So the process of putting it in the pot. So you'll have to fill the pot up like, let me show you. About this size pot. Typical, I don't know, medium size pot that you make for Spanish rice or something like that. I put 4 cups of water inside that pot. And then you're going to end up adding in your chicken after you season it. So we'll do that first and then we'll come back. So I'm going to show you real quick how I season the chicken. First off, I just got some chicken breasts and cut them up in little squares. You use chicken tenders from the store that are frozen or thawed, whatever you want to do. Just cut them up in small little squares. Now, like what I was saying earlier, when I season meat, I usually think about how much I'm putting on top and bottom. A small enough amount that I'm not going to go overboard. So here's the technique. That's once over. That's twice. I know I went a little bit back. It's okay. I like adobo. It tastes good. Meat tenderizer. A little bit, not too much. Salt, just a little bit. Ooh, I went overboard. I like hit myself in the leg with that. Pepper. Not a lot is coming out of this thing. I hate it. Okay. Got all that. Lord Jesus, that pepper. Be sanitary, guys. Don't cough over food. I know I got my hair down. It doesn't make sense at all. Whatever. Disregard that. Okay, so now all my chicken is lathered with all the seasons. So now I just mix. Okay, so I added the meat that I just seasoned to the boiling pot of water. And immediately I'm going to go ahead and throw in all the other ingredients. Couple things I had left out. Oil. You need about a tablespoon, or I like to say a dab. That's all you need, honestly. Go choo-choo, and you're good. So I do half of the sauce, the tomato sauce. Half of sazon. And about a big spoon of the sofrito. Now I don't know about some of y'all, but whoever's listening to this video, if you regularly cook with sofrito, I'd like to know your opinion. Do you guys like to keep it in the top portion fridge to just keep it cool, or do you guys put it in the freezer? I personally like to keep it in the freezer just because I don't cook all the time. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I'm always working. Okay, so I got my big spoon of sofrito in there. I I got my tomato sauce, I got my sazon, I got the seasoned meat in there. Now all of that has to boil for a while until the meat is tender. And then after the meat seems like it's tender enough, then I'll go ahead and add all of the carrots and potatoes. Okay, I don't know what kind of people you are when you cook, but I like to clean as I'm cooking. I don't like stuff sitting out on the counter after I cooked. Okay, so I threw the meat in, let that tenderize for about 5 to 10 minutes on maximum boil heat. And then after that is tender, you could test one out, poke it with a fork. If it splits easy, then you know you're good. Then throw in the carrots and the potatoes, cook those for about 30 minutes or so. Let the chicken and the carrots and the potatoes boil. Stir periodically.
I don't know that.
Alexa, stop being nosy.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
By shutting up. Anyway, she's nosy. So, after you do all of that stuff, you're gonna wait. After it's been boiling about 30 minutes, like I said, after she interrupted me. And then you throw in your noodles last. Now, the recommended amount is 10 ounces. These Goya bags come in 12 ounces. If you can find a smaller one, that's fine. Use as much as you want to. You can use even spaghetti noodles. I've seen so many traditional Hispanic women use spaghetti noodles. So whatever kind of noodles you actually want to use, you can use. I'm going to use these. I just like that they're thin. They cook fast. Throw them in there for about 10-15 minutes with everything else. So everything will be all together in the end, obviously. So periodically you're just throwing other stuff in, letting it boil. And then the trick to all this to make it taste good is to test it. It's the best way that you're gonna have good food is taste testing. So, biggest mistake is go overboard on like seasoning it when you have the meat in a bowl and you're throwing all your seasonings in at once. Don't go overboard then. Just season it good enough. Once it's all boiled down and everything's cooking and you're taste testing periodically as it's boiling, then you can add stuff. I like to keep sofrito, adobo, salt and pepper, and sazon on deck. Just because as I'm tasting, I could tell either one, it needs more of that raw vegetable, multi-vegetable taste to it, which I can get from the sofrito, or more of a saltiness to it, and I can get that from the adobo and sazon. Also, if you want to, I didn't mention this, but you can use like garlic and herb, like maybe, I don't know, like half a tablespoon or something of garlic and herb. That tastes good too. So yeah, it's gonna take a while. I think the total time that it takes to do all this is probably an hour. After cutting and letting things boil individually. Not too long, but it's pretty basic. I will get back to you soon and let you know the update on so far the measurements of the things that I threw in there and see what I need to add. Okay, so there's a couple things. As I'm looking at it, there's a lot of eyeballing going on, and I can really tell from the looks of it if I need a certain seasoning to throw in there. I could tell when it's not going to be salty enough or if it's not going to have this or that. So let me show you. So that's what it looks like. And it has like a kind of a lightish orange color to it. And as you can see, the chicken and potatoes are poking through the top a little bit. If the chicken and potatoes are poking through the top and you haven't added the noodles yet, then you know you're going to have to add more water. You can add a cup or however much you need until you have enough water in there to kind of go above the chicken and potatoes and the amount of noodles that you're going to put in there. Enough so that when it boils, you're not seeing everything kind of like completely poking out of the top. You need at least, I don't know, a ½ inch of water above the food that's boiling in there. Or you could do an inch above, depending on how much broth, or not broth, but like the soup juice that you like. So let's add water. Now, if you've been keeping track of measurements, or whatever you want to call them, we put 4 cups originally of water in there. I just added 2 more cups. We're at 6 cups. I'm adding this half a bag of noodles that I had left over from the last time I had cooked this soup, which is only 6 ounces of noodles, so I'm probably have to pull some noodles from another bag, but you get it. That, or if I want less noodles, I don't have to add extra noodles if I don't want to. But if you're a person that likes a lot of noodles, then obviously you're going to have to add more water, and you're going to have to add more noodles. So kind of you just got to go with the flow of whatever you like and whatever you feel that is going to please you or whoever is eating this. So like I said, it was a light orangish color. I want it to have more of a textured pattern. And what I mean by that is, let me show you. I don't know if that could focus or not, but that juice doesn't have a lot of speckle to it. Speckle doesn't have a lot of dark tone to it. It's very just orange. So I'm gonna go in here a little bit crazy. Well, not too crazy, like maybe a teaspoon of pepper, extra pepper, just a teaspoon. And then I had put originally one of these. I'm going to add, I would say, 1 more. So we're at 2 big spoons of sofrito. You can use your own homemade sofrito if you want, or you could go to the store and buy the Goya. I'm busy, like I said, so I don't have time to make that from scratch. So I just go to the store and I buy the sofrito, this blue one. There's a green one too. Green and blue. I go for the blue one though. So I have 2 big spoons of the sofrito. When I had taste tested it, it seemed like it needed more salt in it. So instead of going directly for the salt, I'm going to go for the adobo, because like I said before, I love adobo. If I had to take a wild guess, that's about a tablespoon that I poured extra in there. Trying not to go overboard, guys. I'll show you again what this is going to look like. Now with the noodles in there, supposedly you're supposed to boil it for like another 15 minutes after you add the noodles. Okay, so like I said, taste test periodically. I went back in a couple times, taste tested it as it's boiling. I went ahead and threw about 2 spoons of these olives
the Goya brand that has the little peppers in them, the red peppers in them. Just for a little bit of a different taste in there. If you prefer to have green peppers, red peppers, whatever you want, go ahead. Add those. Whatever you like in your soups, you can go ahead and add it. If you're sick and you're trying to recover and clear out your sinuses or whatever it is, add some hot sauce, guys. Kick it up a notch. Boom. Just a little, because I honestly, I don't like spicy food, but my husband does. So I just put enough that I'm not going to burn my mouth. Stir it up a notch. I think I let the noodles boil for about a good 8 minutes, and they're pretty boiled down at that point. I didn't have to go the full 15 minutes like I had said earlier. But just eyeball. A lot of this depends on temperature and timing. I tried to cook it fast, like I said earlier, that I wanted to do, because it's literally 8:53 and I'm still cooking. I got out of work at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or something like that. My husband gets home in about 20-something minutes. He don't know how to cook. I'm just kidding. He knows how to cook a little. He just prefers not to really cook on a regular. And if I'm hungry, I'm a cook. I can't depend on nobody to give me what I want, so therefore I cook. I'm hungry. I got a child too. She's the pickiest child. Oh my gosh. I asked her if she wanted some. She said no. And I'm sure she'd like it. She's just really picky. Now earlier I also had mentioned that to thicken up like soups, and even like if you're making like beans or whatever on the side of rice, to thicken up the sauce, all you have to do is add dried potatoes that you can buy in a box at the store. Literally like half a handful is typically good enough, depending on how much you're making, like a small saucepan or something. About half a handful of dry potatoes will thicken it up real good for you. I hate runny beans, or gazpacho in general. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty thickened up good enough. As you can tell, smells yummy. Looks yummy. Now if you like it to be more watery, you can add some more water as much as you want to. I prefer like a medium juice to food texture. Smells good, guys. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, give me a comment. If you have any suggestions, give me a comment. Regardless, if you like this video, give me a likes up, peoples. Thank you for tuning in.